Hello. Hi. 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 Oh, you can't see me. You know why? Because I'm super bright, I'm super smart, and I didn't have it turned the right way. I swear. I've been to college. We're going to for Kia Reynolds.
Oh my gosh. I was like, Almaz. I was like, wait, you were like, hi. I'm like, we can't see you.
I went to
Um,
college for 6.5 years. I swear. I mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
listen, we know, listen, it's the smartest people. Well,
Listen.
it's the smartest people. Well, let me just say to everyone, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of State of the Plate. So, for those of you who don't know, State of the Plate is an opportunity for the folks at Sky Blue Media to talk about exactly what the title is, the state of our plate. So, what that means is we share all of the things that we're working on, things that we're excited about. You know, we sort of look into the next week. And today we are joined by Almaz, who, let me just tell y'all, let me just walk y'all down memory lane. So Almaz used to be the chief of staff of Sky Blue Media, and now she has joined us in the capacity of strategic communications, working on all of the strategy. Strategy is like our favorite word at Sky Blue Media because we do a lot of it. Do you remember Pee Wee's Playhouse when they used to do the word and it was like, word
Absolutely.
is window, and someone would say window and you'd be like, window. I feel like it's the same thing with strategy at Sky Blue Media. We're like,
Mm-hmm.
strategy. So, Almaz, I would like to open it up with you telling the people who you are, what you do, and then we'll get
Okay.
into the state of your
Well,
play.
thank you for the introduction. Hats off. It's my imaginary cat. Um, hi, Ricky introduced me. We'll take some time to honor and big up Rakia in a minute because she is the woman, as many of you know. Well, I'll do it right now. And I admire Rakia as a human being. She's an amazing person, right? So
Oh,
listen, sorry, not sorry. It's
oh, okay.
Friday. You're gonna get the love today. She's an amazing person, a great, fantastic mother, the most beauteous sister, a wonderful wife, the best daughter, a great niece, and a fantastic friend. And
Oh.
she just so happens to have this amazing 10-year-old baby company of hers called Sky Blue Media. And I had the great fortune of meeting Rakia back in, I think it was 2008 or so at a former, the former place of business. And we collaborated on a couple of projects. Rakia was doing a lot of video at the time and creating these awesome, really interesting, engaging videos promoting the city of Philadelphia and tourism and hospitality. And so we've always been in touch no matter where I went, and I really stayed in the nonprofit world for a while. And eventually Rakia is like, you have to come work at Sky Media. Like, Almaz, when is this going to happen? And then it happened, and it was one of the best experiences of my life because I got to work with people that I would have never had a chance to work with on projects that took me outside of the country and to different parts of the country, and really being able to collaborate creatively, because I do have an MFA in creative writing, and so it allowed me to collaborate creatively with other professionals, with other artists, and that type of thing, and really helped me continue to build my leadership skills. So I was in the role of chief of staff, but if you know Sky Blue Media, you know that we do everything. Everyone does everything, right? So in addition to kind of the standard chief of staff role, it was also lots of writing. I love to write, lots of editing, really talking to people and helping folks understand their power, and telling those stories and articulating that to other folks. So I'm back at Skai Blue Media, and in somewhat of the same capacity, but a lot more on strategy. So yeah, so that's the long story, and thank you for having me on the show today, Rakia.
The State of the Plate show. And
Yes.
it's a whole production here. Snaps and claps to Michelle and Ashley Lynn Nicole on our team who, plan and prep these so that we are able to talk to you all about the hands behind the brand. I don't know if a lot of folks talk about the hands behind the brands, and it takes a lot to do all of the work that we do. But Almaz brought up one little avenue of the many things that she gets to work with us on, and that is our core competency, and one of our values at Skai Blue Media is equity and communications, and ensuring that the language and the lexicon that we use, the vernacular, all of the things that we identify with when we are communicating with people is looked at with the lens of inclusivity, belonging, mattering, and sensitivity. So we've been in so many instances where folks will send us something and Almaz will say, wait a minute, let's change this. Or if you show a photo of this person, it's problematic because this, that, and that. So I would like to say that Skai Blue Media is very much a teaching organization, and I, attribute a lot of that to what you've been able to bring to the table. I think Almaz, as the former chief of staff, you were always talking to the people, talking to the Skai Blue Media team about the economy of words, using and I there's a little song in my head whenever I think of you. It's like, use your words all day long. So Almaz has worked with worked with the company for so long to encourage people to use their words and use their words wisely. That's why I get so excited when you say, I have an MFA in creative writing. Y'all, she also worked with my child, Skai, the namesake of the company, to work on her college essays. That was huge. I've never seen the college essays, by the way, just so you know. I never got to see them because you artists are very, protective of the work and all those. So one day we'll talk about that. But anywho, you all, she has definitely, come into this organization years ago. Again, when you know someone and you trust someone. Another value of Skai Blue Media is trust and integrity. You cannot be in this space if we don't trust you, or you don't operate in a space of integrity. And I think, Almaz, you've always walked that walk and shown all of that. You talked also about like helping people with the power of their words and the economy of their words. There are a few clients that I can picture them right now, and I see you in the office talking to them because I was sitting at a table once, and you were very much to this one client, like, you've got to own your confidence. You've got to own your power. You've got to own who you are, and helping that client, sort of flesh all of those words out on paper, but also owning those words. And I don't know if folks understand the complexities and the nuances of communications. I think people think that we sit at a desk and we're like, hey, let me pitch you on this and let me pitch you on that. But yeah, I would love for you to talk to the people about the state of your plate. Some of the things you worked on this week, you might be excited about next week, because you definitely embody the spirit of, being equitable in the world of communications.
Sure. So thank you. And all of those points you brought up, Rakia, were really good points. And equity in language and ensuring that we're not just using the words, we understand why. Of course, Missy, you should reach out to me. I miss you.
Hey, Missy!
But you should understand why we're choosing certain words or phrases, or why we aren't, right? And then beyond the words, we're taking those words and putting them into action. So in terms of what's on my plate, as I said before, I've worked a lot in the nonprofit space. So I work a lot with Skai Blue Media's nonprofit clients. And one in particular, we've been writing a press release for the past month or more. And it's been challenging because there are so many levels of approval, and when you're working on something that this will have a huge impact in Philadelphia, in particular, you have to consider who the audiences are, right? So whenever we write, we think about the audiences. We think about how people receive information, and also keeping us aware. You know, I come from a family where one of my parents is an immigrant. My mother is from East Africa, from Eritrea, which is where I get my name from, Almaz. My father is from Chester, via West Philadelphia. And so they had two very different upbringings in terms of education, where my mom's education stopped at a certain age, when she was a teenager. And my father had the very fortunate experience of going to Cheney University, and he went as an adult, though. He was an adult with two children, because he didn't go directly to college. And then he had the advantage of also going to Harvard for graduate school, right? So I come from a home where words were really important, and not just the words, but the inflection, the space between the words. And so when we write, we have to also understand, in the United States of America, that people are reading on a certain grade level, right? So we're looking at fourth grade reading level, maybe fifth or sixth. So we have lots of concepts that need to be conveyed, and they have to be conveyed in a way that everyone will understand. And there used to be a time where it was kind of elitist in some of the language that was used, and the thing is, it's not dumbing it down. It is making it accessible. Our job is to make information accessible. And whether that's through writing, whether that's through imagery, whether that's through sound, you have to meet people where they are. We've all heard this statement a lot. Meet them where they are, and have compassion and empathy at that meeting point. So you're not just meeting them and you're not giving them something. We're not saying, "Oh, here you go." We're saying, I'm glad you're here with me. I'm glad you could meet me here, and let's take this journey together. And again, whether that's someone's outside my door, by the way, this is Philadelphia, and they probably a motorcycle, in case you could hear that. The biker boys. But you have to meet people where they are, and you say, let's take this walk together. Let me share this information with you. How do you need to hear it? How do you need to receive it in order for you to take action? So that's been a joy. It's a long process, right, to get to that final release or that final op-ed. But the process of getting there and that journey is where we build the qualities we need.
Right. Oh, I love it. I mean, that makes me think about, every the notifications are coming in every month for all of our clients. So if you're in the Skai Blue Media family, you get to have access to these monthly toolkits that we put together. So for a few years, we've been putting together a toolkit every month on how to effectively communicate on that given month. Here are the things you should be saying. Here are the things you shouldn't be saying. Here are the trends you should be looking out for. Here are a lot of the conversations that you will be sort of met with during that month. Whether you're reading them, whether you're hearing them. We talk about being equitable. Some folks are consuming information in different ways. So we break down how people consume information, and Almaz serves as sort of the editor of all of that information. And so I want to encourage folks, one, and maybe listen, if y'all have any ideas on how to access our toolkits, if you're not a Skai Blue Media client, hit us up, because people ask us all of the time, and we've been actually trying to figure out how we can offer some of those toolkits to people that are not clients. But Almaz, are there any notes that you want to leave folks with in terms of the toolkit that we have for next month, or any of the previous toolkits? And then I want to talk about what you're going to do this weekend, what you're up to. I know you're a secret squirrel about that, but we're gonna.
Okay. Well, Rakia, Well, in terms of the business part first, it's 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 okay to say you don't know, right? It's okay. I don't know. I don't know how to say this. I don't know how this will be received, right? And going to someone or a source that you trust, but not expecting that source to do the work for you, which is a problem, right? That we've had in this country and in the world, is when you ask people for free labor. You ask people to do the work that you can do. So when you're having, if anyone has a hard time on how do I address, LGBTQIA community members, you can ask that question of someone that you're very close to, maybe personally, but you can't expect them to whip out a dictionary. You can't expect them to create a list for you, to have a session for you once a week where you have to do the work. And you have to be aware and be very conscious. And some folks are like, oh, I have to think about everything I write. Well, yes. How about that?
You sure do.
Yeah, you do. So how about, those 3 sentences? Guess what? Those could be the 3 sentences that make or break your career, that make or break someone else's day. That those 3 sentences could be the difference between loving someone out loud and tossing them aside. Words are so important to how we function every day. And people ask me, and I ask questions. If someone says something to me, I'm like, did you mean this or did you mean that? Because I want to know, what are you really saying? How are you really, is that how you feel about me and what I said? Or is it something different? So yes, the words matter. Take the time, as much time as you take to maybe lay down your baby hairs in the morning, or as much time as you take to maybe boil an egg, or as much time as you take to watch your favorite TV show. Take that same time to think about what you say, how you say it, because it matters. And everyone's voice matters.
You better go ahead and give a Sunday sermon on a Friday.
Friday church.
Oh, you know what? And I don't have my tambourines, but if I have my tambourines, I get up. Almaz, that makes me think of, so Almaz and I, listen, the whole Sky Blue Media team, when we're on calls, y'all, we are in the G chats. We have a back channel of the ways that we communicate so that we are never, I would say misaligned or in a disagreement with the client. So we back channel everything. And we were on a call a while ago and someone used the word policing. And Almaz and I both were like on the call. We are into our G chats were like, they were just what, because we both were paying attention to exactly what Almaz talked about. Are you being intentional with the languaging or the terminology or the lexicon that you're using? Because in that particular instance, it was an internal communications ploy. It was more, within company and stakeholders. It wasn't external yet. However, one of the things that we say at Sky Blue Media is perfect your internal communications first before you go out externally with that message, because the folks internally should be holding one another or folks in different departments accountable. And so in that particular instance, we had to say, hey, is that what you meant? Or did you mean this? Because my image of policing, I sent Almaz a photo. I said, this is actually what policing is. And it was a very graphic image that we all probably know about, but we've got to be intentional with our words. So Almaz, I appreciate you. We value you. I can't even use words to express how much we value you at this organization, value you in our lives, personally, professionally. Also, I will tell y'all, Almaz is the one that I call when I'm about to when I get a little annoyed, and as an entrepreneur, a mother, all the things that Almaz sort of outlined in the beginning, and when she was giving my flowers, which was very, very nice. You know, there are moments when I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, is this for real?
Yeah.
And I call Almaz, I'll say, you know, can I talk to you for a second?
Uh-huh.
So y'all pay attention to the people that are in your corner, the people that you surround yourselves with, because it really does matter. I know we're talking about words and intentionality, but the people do as well. And I will say these past 2 years have been some of the most difficult. I mean, the first 2 years and 3 years and 4 years of business were extremely hard, but y'all can't imagine to lead during a pandemic, to lead during a crisis, to lead during the most unpredictable times of our lives, to lead through constant compounded stress, to lead through constant compounded unpredictability in this new abnormal. I know some of y'all are calling it the new normal, but it's not normal.
Hello.
It's the new abnormal. And so I just appreciate the folks that are here at Sky Blue Media, even people that aren't here anymore. They all have contributed to being able to keep, I would say sometimes, to keep me in a space of, this is why we do #what we do. That's the hashtag we use at Sky Blue Media, #what we do. But y'all definitely help to underscore, emphasize the importance of what we do at Sky Blue Media. So snaps and claps, I appreciate you. I thank you. Love you. Mean it.
Mean it.
Mean it. But yeah, you know, we ain't got to talk about your weekend because I know, you know,
I am a secret squirrel.
You're a secret squirrel and you have the privacy.
I do. If any of you try to follow me on Instagram, my account's private. It's a little private. But I am on Twitter, if you want to find me on the Twitter, ALMAZ CROWE. Go ahead and do that. But on the Instagrammies, we're going to have to go with not available.
Unknown. This profile. Yeah, this profile is unavailable, unknown, and not found.
Hello.
And that's okay.
That's okay. Because listen, I try to minimize my digital footprint. I'm just keeping it 100 because, you know, you never know when we have to bounce out. But drop everything, get out the door. Listen, those who know, if you know, you know. No, I'm playing. Because there are certain things. I'm highly emotional. I'm the people that I love them with a passion, and I'm very passionate about a lot of things. And so I protect my space. I really do protect my space. And there are some people who I want to be in my space and I want to share my life with them. And there are other folks who, I'll be honest with you, who do not deserve complete access to me. And here's the thing, I'm fine with that. And they'll have to make their own assumptions about it. I'm all good. One of the people that is in my space who just joined is Miss Lene 215, who is Deanda Wilson. And I had the pleasure of growing up with her and then also helping to co-raise her child.
You better go ahead, Miss Lynn 215.
Who is now at my former high school and my sister's, whatever, Philadelphia High School for Girls. And so maybe we're thinking about weekend plans. I will go around the corner, which is where Deanda lives now, around the corner, and go see to go see her and her baby. But besides that, I was actually in New York last night for an amazing conversation with, among others, Roxanne Gay and Debbie Millman. That's her name, and they're actually married. Saeed Jones, who's an amazing poet, and Chanel, whose name I forget. Last name I forget. And so I need to catch up on some sleep from that last night. And then I may cook some root vegetables, which is really exciting because I love cauliflower, which means I will not be around people.
And beets. You love beets.
I do love some beets. You roast those beets to get nice and sweet, and then you put some olive oil, salt, and pepper, and you're done. You can add a little cheese if you want to, but my people are a herding people, And so, you know, the dairy's not really, doesn't sit well.
Oh, no, man, Pam.
My genetic makeup. But if you want to do that, you can do that. Also, the other person who just chimed in is Shay RHA6A7L, who also grew up on the same block where my grandmother lived, and who's like my sister, my friend, like my confidant, my everything. Anyway,
you are calling people out.
I am. Listen, when I love you, I love you.
I hear that. Listen,
Rakia Reynolds, I love you.
Listen, I love you too, and I know that I'm loved because you say it, you show it, and you practice it.
Oh,
you say, you show it, and you practice it, and that's important. So I salute you.
Salute you and Sky Blue Media, because y'all be doing the damn thing. Double salute on a Friday.
I can't stand you.
I'm 100% sober, by the way.
Y'all, and Almaz doesn't go live. Can we encourage Almaz to go live even more? Y'all.
Rakia, we should have our own talk show, Rakia.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Pinky and the brain. You're the brain. I'll be Pinky.
Well, we are working on a special project coming up, y'all, which we will talk about. And Almaz, maybe we will transfer some of our conversations onto that platform when we launch that social media account, because y'all, Almaz has joined as an advisor to another company I'm building.
So awesome.
It's about to be real.
It's about to change the game.
The
really real life game. Like, it's about to change real life.
It is. No podcast, y'all. We didn't put a podcast on it, but it's what I can say is it is a tech platform based on some of the things that we talked about here. So it's very exciting. Almaz has joined the advisory board, and we have some amazing advisors. We have one advisor, an angel investor, who I won't say this person's name, but they were one of the first investors in LinkedIn, one of the first investors in Uber, and has a portfolio of investments of about 200 companies. And this person said, when they wrote the check, I haven't written a check like this for a company that I believed in 3 years. And I am excited to see where this company goes. So y'all pay attention, stay tuned, but lots happening in 2022 that I'm excited about. But again, Almaz will be joining us as an advisor to that company, and I'm so excited. Almaz, we love you. We thank you. Have a great weekend. Stay to play.
Bye.